from the command line. And it's there that you specify the input, the output, and you can provide other information that affects the processing. This is the simplest form of the command. In this case, only the input file is named. The format of the output is the one set to be the default in your assembler, and the output file name is derived from the input file name, and it varies depending on the format of the file being produced. This is a more complete and probably a more common form of the command. This one specifies the format of the output and the name of the output file. For example, this command will assemble the source file module .asm into the ELF format, which is the one used by Linux. The name of the output file is module.o, which is the standard form of an object file. Here's another example. This command will assemble the source file module .asm into a raw binary file and write the output to module.com. Or in this example, the output will be an obj file and written to the file module.obj. It doesn't matter whether you're using the Linux or Windows version of the assembler. The two are exactly the same. Either one can produce output for the other. It's all determined by the F option. Even the help text that comes out of them are the same. Entering the H command line option will give you more than a screen full of information about the options, and you can get a list of the formats that can be produced by the assembler by following the H flag with the letter F. Notice that one of the formats is tagged with an asterisk. This is the default. If you don't specify a format, this is the one you get. The only way to change the default is to modify the source code and recompile the assembler. As you can see from this list, you can produce object files in more than a dozen formats, including FreeBSD and Mac. There is one more form that you can use to get information from the assembler. If you specify the format followed by the Y flag, you will get a list of the debug formats available for that particular object file format. More about all this later. Right now, I want to list the command line options for you so you'll know what you have available. As mentioned earlier, the O option specifies the name of the output file. If you don't select a name, the assembler will make one up based on the name of the input file, which is normally what you want to have happen. The file name can be anything. The assembler doesn't care. If the output file already exists, it's overwritten by a new one. The F option you've also seen already. It allows you to select the format of the output object file. You can either take the default or you can pick one suitable for your target machine. The L option lets you generate a listing and specify the name of a listing file to hold it. The listing shows the addresses, the values of the code generated by the mnemonics, and the addresses of the instructions. If you use makefiles to run your assembler, you can use the uppercase M option to generate makefile dependencies from the source file. The generation is to standard out, so you can redirect the output to a file if you wish. If an uppercase G is specified along with the M option, it will be assumed that any missing files are to be generated. The MF option can be used in conjunction with the M or MG option to direct the dependencies to an output file. If the MD option is specified, a dependency file is generated and at the same time normal assembly is executed on the source file. There are a few more of these M options that have to do with some very special situations. The G option will cause debug information to be generated and included in the output file. The uppercase F option lets you specify the debug format to be used in the generation of the object file. This is only needed if you wish to override the default format. The I option, either upper or lower case, can be used to specify the name of a directory to be searched for an include file if it is not found in the current directory. Any path name to a directory you specify this way must be complete and must include the trailing slash. Using the P option to specify an include file is the same as using the name on an include directive as the first line in the assembly source code. The D option, upper or lower case, can be used to define a name just as you do with a defined directive, and optionally assign it a value. The U option, upper or lower case, will remove a definition made earlier on the command line by a P or D. The uppercase E directs the assembler to run the preprocessor, but not the assembler. The output goes to standard out unless the O option is used to specify an output file. Specifying the A option suppresses the preprocessor. No macros are expanded. This is for the purpose of speeding up assembly a bit when no preprocessing is needed, such as when the input to the assembler is the output from a compiler. The uppercase O option followed by the number 0 suppresses all optimization. The number 1 performs partial optimization. The letter X is suitable for most situations and performs full optimization. The T option makes the assembler compatible with source code written for the Borland assembler.